From lifelong fans to franchise newbies, it seems everyone is asking one thing. Is Amazon's new Fallout series proof we're living in a golden age of video game adaptations? Fallout has endured an uphill battle to attract new viewers beyond fans of the game, largely because there's been no shortage of post-apocalyptic stories for quite some time now. Even before The Walking Dead dominated the airwaves, post-apocalyptic fiction was extremely popular. But since then, we've been deluged with zombies, nukes, asteroids, climate change, and more. By now, it seems like we've all seen just about every doomsday that could possibly happen. Nevertheless, Fallout breathes fresh air into the Doomsday genre, particularly for viewers who aren't well acquainted with the franchise's history. The world of Fallout is more than just a post-apocalyptic wasteland. It's an alternate branch in our own history that imagines what the world would look like if the best and worst of the future envisioned by 1950s America came to pass. The franchise's iconic atomic punk aesthetic shows up in everything from building architecture to weapon designs, and it plays an integral role in the plot of the show too. Gamers have been in love with the fascinating world of Fallout for nearly 30 years, and the show brings that look to life in a way that is both hugely exciting and faithful to the series. Fallout knows exactly when to borrow iconic imagery and pieces of lore from the games too, helping to flesh out a world that feels more lived in and realistic than other grittier apocalyptic series, and a heck of a lot more fun too. When the Fallout series began in the late 1990s, it gathered a small following of dedicated fans, but was still relatively niche in the gaming world. The PC gaming market was smaller back then, and Fallout was a top-down role-playing game that didn't necessarily attract a wide audience. Still, the franchise continued to grow with Fallout 2, while Fallout Tactics: Brotherhood of Steel brought fans of strategy games to the franchise in 2001. In the mid-2000s, developer Bethesda Softworks was hard at work on Fallout 3, which was to reinvent the mechanics of the franchise. At the time, Bethesda decided to buy the rights to the entire series from Interplay for $5.75 million. Bethesda was well established thanks to its popular Elder Scrolls series, and it envisioned a bright future for Fallout. That investment has paid off more than Bethesda ever could have imagined. Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout Shelter are counted among Bethesda's best-selling games of all time. Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 have each sold over 12 million copies, while Shelter, which is free to play, has been downloaded more than 170 million times. Thanks in large part to Bethesda's support, the Fallout franchise was more popular than ever, even before Amazon began production on the live-action series. The creators of Fallout have walked a thin line when it comes to the show's relationship to the games, and this approach appears to have served them well. Fallout is set in the same universe as the video games, but it doesn't try to adapt the storyline of any particular game. The plot is entirely original, and outside of a few cheeky references, no characters from the games appear in the show.
Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs.
Gamers are notoriously picky about their lore, and the Fallout series could very easily have left longtime fans bewildered and frustrated. Instead, the show's attention to detail is breathtaking, lifting objects, locations, and even sound effects straight from the games. The team working on the show clearly care deeply about doing right by the fans, and that benefits newcomers too. Fallout stands out from the competition because it's so loaded with details, meaning you can give the first season multiple viewings and still catch something new every time. It's probably worth mentioning that Fallout fans aren't happy about everything the show has done. Prime Video's series is set in the year 2296, which is the latest point in the timeline that the franchise has ever explored. Because the show was pushed into new territory, it was bound to ruffle the feathers of the fans who are more well-versed on Fallout history to this point. Controversially, the show establishes that a town called Shady Sands has been destroyed, which immediately upsets some fans of the franchise. For one, Shady Sands was the capital city of the New California Republic, a much-loved faction from the games. A blackboard in the show seemed to indicate that Shady Sands was destroyed in 2277, which is 4 years before the events of Fallout New Vegas, a game that featured the NCR in a pivotal role and yet never features the destruction of Shady Sands. If you're a newcomer to the franchise, this controversy won't affect your enjoyment of the show in the slightest. For diehard fans, though, it caused such a stir that Bethesda felt the need to clear the air and say New Vegas is still part of the canon. No doubt this timeline snafu is going to haunt Fallout subreddits for years to come, or at least until we get Fallout Season 2. Still, the fact that people won't stop talking about it is actually helping to maintain discourse around the show, giving it more time in the spotlight than the binge-release model usually allows. It's worth noting that Fallout is enjoying a serious boost due to the platform on which it was released. There are roughly 800 million streaming services to choose from these days, but at least in terms of subscriber count, they don't all come equal. Amazon Prime Video boasts over 200 million subscribers, which makes it the second largest streamer in the business. Only a portion of a subscriber base is gonna watch any given show, of course, but Prime Video series nevertheless have a huge advantage, thanks to the sheer number of eyes that will see them on the homepage when they sign into their smart TV. Prime Video has also had a string of successes lately, mostly involving shows that have some overlap with the Fallout fandom. The Boys, Gen V, and Invincible might be more focused on the superhero genre, but the heady mix of sci-fi, action, and gore you'll find in those shows happens to be a key ingredient in what makes Fallout work so well.
You're not the real heroes. I'm the real hero.
Prime Video is becoming known more and more as a platform that crafts quality genre entertainment, so when it puts out a show like Fallout, even people who aren't familiar with the franchise are going to be tempted to check it out. A show like Fallout isn't merely designed to attract Prime Video subscribers, it's also supposed to bring new people to the platform. And it's clear that Amazon really believed in this show's potential to do just that. Amazon gave Fallout a jaw-dropping budget of $153 million, which puts it in league with the most expensive TV productions of all time. The budget shines through in the on-location sets and practical effects on display in Season 1, of course. But Amazon's money also helped Fallout's marketing push before the series premiere. Amazon plastered Fallout all over Prime Video, with multiple trailers building hype for the series. Meanwhile, Bethesda produced a number of behind-the-scenes featurettes, with executive producer Todd Howard speaking in interviews about the show's accuracy in relation to the games. Then there's the merch. The Fallout franchise has always been ripe for swag, but Bethesda's latest Pip-Boy replica and Amazon's roundup of show-related merch really helped keep people engaged with the series, even when they weren't watching it. For a long time, the few video game adaptations that existed were anything but quality. The original Super Mario Bros., for example, or 2005's Doom movie.
We're all killers, Reaper. It's what they pay us for.
These films barely stuck to their source material and didn't have many other redeeming qualities of their own. Compared to those days, the 2020s are a utopia for video game fans itching to put down the controller and watch something. Not only have we been given a redemptive Mario movie, but we've also been showered with TV adaptations that range from acceptable to award-winning. Shows such as Halo take their source material as a mere suggestion, but balance that out with great-looking effects and action. Twisted Metal ups the action even more and demonstrates that a video game show can be just entertaining enough without taking itself too seriously. And then, of course, there's the elephant in the room. HBO's The Last of Us series sets a new standard for video game adaptations, and that's something Fallout executive producer Jonathan Nolan is well aware of. Nolan told The Hollywood Reporter that when he first started working on Fallout, no one had any idea if a video game show could actually be good. Now that's changed, he says, telling the outlet, when somebody makes something as good as The Last of Us, it makes it easier, because suddenly everyone understands what's possible. In some ways, Fallout has been able to capitalize on the success of The Last of Us, as potential viewers finally believe video game adaptations can actually work. Fallout has something for everyone, except maybe kids, that is. It's a post-apocalyptic show for adults, sure, but there are plenty of scenes that don't line up with the image that description might summon up. Fallout is frequently dramatic and consistently gory, but it's also satirical, slapstick-heavy, or downright silly at times. This is something gamers have already become quite used to. The Fallout games have remained so successful and popular because they aren't afraid to tell a story with a range of different tones. In the games, you'll go from a terrifying chase with a deathclaw to delivering a violin to a tearful elderly woman. Then the next day, you'll stumble into the headquarters of a cult that worships a talking tree. Jonathan Nolan told The Hollywood Reporter that when he first played Fallout 3, it was that variety that surprised him most. He said, "It was the sense of humor and irony and the cutting level of satire, and this depiction of an Eisenhower-era America that never lost its swagger and kept lumbering forward. It just had a unique tone." The show has managed to perfectly translate all the different notes that the games hit so well. Individual episodes flip back and forth from comedy to drama to horror, making every scene incredibly engaging to watch.
We were really interested in peeling back the layers of the absurd situations that are just very Fallout.
This is like a new installation of the games.
For an Amazon Prime Video show, Fallout has utilized an interesting release strategy. While some of the streamer's biggest shows have been released week to week, Prime Video chose the binge model for Fallout. In some cases, a binge release can mean viewers burn through all the material in one go and promptly forget about the series until a new season is released. But here, Fallout has another thing going for it. This show is just the beginning. Anyone who becomes interested in Fallout after watching Season 1 doesn't have to wait years before they can return to this world. There are a ton of Fallout games that they can dive into immediately. And that's exactly what seems to be happening. After the show's release, the Bethesda Fallout games have more than tripled their concurrent player counts on Steam. People are clearly enthusiastic about the series after Season 1, and the games are going to help keep that enthusiasm alive until the next season arrives. On top of that, because the show and the games are so intertwined, viewers can use their experience in the games to theorize about what might happen in the wasteland when Prime Video's show returns. All in all, Fallout seems to be a best-case scenario as far as video game adaptations go. Roll on Season 2.